an exorbitant amount of money is wasted on marketing to everyone, like, because you just can't serve everyone. A person who does something and says, this is exactly who I'm going after, this is exactly who I'm speaking to, you become an absolute fluent professional about that particular person. And that makes you even more and more authority in your position.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
We're back in your feed again.
We are.
And today we're talking about freedom. So I think you will enjoy us being in your feed today. I hope you enjoy us being in your feed every day. But today, especially so. You know, entrepreneurs like you all over the globe have one thing in common. They simply want freedom. Mm-hmm. You know I do. I like it. And it's the freedom to build your dream business without having to work for somebody else in the misery of the 9-to-5 grind. Okay. And if any of you have ever been in that 9-to-5 grind like I have, have you? Only for a short time. Only for a short time.
As a senior in high school, I was. And then I realized pretty quick I would rather be just starved to death.
I wasn't that smart. I didn't catch on quite as quickly as he did. I worked in the grind for a while in the media world. And let me tell you something, that was a grind. I enjoyed it, but I learned a lot. We'll talk about that in a minute. You know, a lot of people feel just stuck in this unrewarding cycle of chaos. And if you're one of those people, you know, I really want to inspire you today. You know, this is designed to help you kind of preserve your autonomy and freedom in just a few simple, I believe, life's changing steps that'll boost you and your business. So I'm Tanya Eberhardt. I'm the founder of BrandFace, where we help experts and entrepreneurs differentiate themselves. And we do that through personal branding.
Yeah, and I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was actually a client, and before I became a partner in the company. And the principles that Tanya taught me in BrandFace have continued to make my company more successful year over year over year over year. I'm in the real estate business, and we practice the things we're going to talk to you about every time that we're in your feed. But it was something that I was so impressed with that I wanted to share that with other people. So I bought into the company, and now we're the most comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe. And this is what we do, is we help entrepreneurs stay out of that 9-to-5 grind. You know, you got at it for a reason. You started your own thing for a reason. Let's talk about how you can get free. We got 5 ways that your personal brand is going to bring you freedom if you'll use it.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's start with number 1 is the freedom to be you. Okay. And while that might sound fluff, it's not. I'm going to tell you why. An authentic brand represents everything that makes you, you. Okay. So yesterday our team was on the call with somebody who was considering coming into the program. Now we hear this a lot, right? They said, okay, can I see everybody else's brands? Can I just see what they're doing? And instantly it's like, because while I understand people want to see the design capabilities and those kind of things that we can produce here, we're very, very proud of the brands we produce, what they sound like, what they look like, all of it, right?
You're very good.
But here's the thing. Personal branding is very personal. So when you
hence the name.
It's hence the name. So when you come to BrandFace, why are you coming here? To be different, because that's what we do. We differentiate you from every one of your competitors. So here's what happens a lot of times when you look at maybe 10 or 12 different brands, you might hate 8 of them. You might. And that's okay. It doesn't mean the brands suck, right? It just means it's not your brand.
It's not your brand.
It's not designed to attract your ideal customer. It's not you. It's not your experience, your expertise, the things that make you special. It's not the look you want. It's somebody else's brand. So I just ask people to keep that in mind. And I think one of the best stories that came from that, the freedom to be you, really came from Leslie Smith, who's one of our clients down in New Orleans. And Leslie says, now that I have my brand, I no longer have to compete. I loved that. It was one of the best things.
Think it was great.
It was one of the best things I've ever heard. And because she now has her own brand, she knows the things that set her apart, and she has obliterated her competition because she doesn't have any. Nobody's like her And
Yeah.
that's the way it works, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
she took her eyes off of somebody else's ball and put it on hers. Imagine
She
that.
sure did.
It's like an old buddy of mine, old mentor, used to say, "Hey, did you hear about that guy that made $3 million last year? And you know how he did it?" I'd say, "How?" He said, "Taking care of his business."
There you go.
A lot of us too busy taking care of somebody else's business and make any money on our own.
That's so true.
And and it's prohibitive, and we don't want that. We want freedom. Number two, freedom to take your brand with you, guys. If you spend some time trying to figure out who your ideal customer is, what your point of differentiation is, and then work with a company like BrandFace to make sure that that is illuminated and defined like it's supposed to be. Guess what? It's yours for the rest of your life. And you'll hear some people out there nowadays squabbling, like saying, everybody's got a brand. Everybody's got a brand, and that's true. Somebody's going to either assign to you what they think about you and call you that, or you're going to teach them and train them and go after the people that are looking for that. The good thing about it is, if you're working for or under somebody else, like if you're as a sales professional that is working underneath a brokerage type of a situation, or a head salesperson, or a manager, or if you work for a corporate, like even in auto sales or anything like that, and you're building your personal brand, guess what? When you leave, your brand goes with you. We have one of the most successful salesmen in the car business with one of the most successful dealerships in the entire state of Georgia. His brand is, "I'm the best dressed car salesman." Just ask for the best dressed car salesman. And he lives up to that because he dresses to the nines. I mean, this guy's always on full tilt, and people know. And when they walk up on the lot and they see this guy, they say, "Well, that's a nice guy in a nice little suit. That's nice guy with a jacket on and a tie. That's a nice guy. Oh my God, look at this dude. Hat, shoes, got it all. He's wearing his brand." Right? Now, I'm not suggesting you run from the company you're with. And what we teach a lot of times is you can build your own brand underneath another conglomerate. That's fine. It happens every day.
Sure.
Right? I'm in the real estate business, right? I'm a broker. 40% of my agents have their own unique, professionally built BrandFace brands, right? Now, it's my job to be sure that my brand is out there for the brokerage, that I am the face of my brokerage and set the acumen for what we do and the unique brand. It is their job to attract their specific type of clients, right? That they feel that they are best suited to serve, that their brand speaks to. But guess what? As they are successful, so am I, because they're taking their brand in as the lead and they're taking my brand in as the umbrella. All right. So think about it that way. Not only are you going to do better for yourself, you're going to do better for whoever you're working with.
Yep. Hey, drop us a line in the comments and let us know. Are you currently working for somebody else, or are you currently trying to build your personal brand for your own business, right?
Yeah. And I want to say something about that too. For those of you who are salesmen, professional salesmen that are out there and you're working underneath a brokerage of some kind, or maybe you're working for a dealership, a car dealership, or you're working as an attorney in an attorney firm, an advertising agency. None of those things matter. You still have a personal brand that is important that you can put out there. Okay. And you should, because it will make you stand out, even amongst the people that are doing the exact same thing in the same firm you're working with.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Number 3, freedom to run your business your way.
That's why we do it.
That's true. Here's what I mean by this. There's really nothing like your own game plan, right? Nobody's ever going to be more passionate about your business than you, right? So you've got to be the best face of that business you can possibly be. If you've ever worked for somebody else, or if you are now, you definitely know the importance of this, okay? Mm-hmm. And some of you live in, when we started this, it's kind of like that misery of the 9-to-5 grind, right? So yeah, I know a little bit about that. I work, even in the media world, I worked under general managers and sales managers that were just so different. They did business so differently than the way I wanted to do it. The good thing is I could develop the way I presented myself to my prospects without the hindrance of how they might be viewed. Mm-hmm. And I loved that. And that goes back to the last point, which is, taking your brand with you. So when each place that I left in the media world, because, we never stay in one place, each place I left in the media world. Yeah, that's right. I took my own brand, my own reputation, my own, what I stand for, the things that set me apart, what I do for my clients. I took that with me everywhere. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about this just a little bit more. In my time in media, and why it's really so important that you can run the business your way, is in my time in media, I literally learned more about what not to do than I learned about what to do. Now, I say this out of love, because I learned a lot. I learned a lot of things that helped me become who I am today and helped, honestly, to spark this business for sure. But there were a lot of things that I learned not to do. And when I was working there, I didn't have the control over a lot of those things. I could control how I presented myself, right? And that's where I took that control. So running business your way is hugely important, whether you're under somebody else's umbrella or whether you're starting your own gig. Okay.
Definitely. Because, a lot of you have been in industries where, look, the ivory tower loses touch with the street. And those of us that are pounding the street and working those people there, we've got the intel to tell them. A lot of times they're not listening. And, but you don't need to doubt where you are with that and building it. It's important. Like number 4, the freedom to market you and your strength. That's really the key to it, right? Because as we teach you in BrandFace, when you come through the program, that everybody's got a unique point of differentiation. You're unique for a reason. And, you want to illuminate that, right? To attract the right customers that you want to spend time with, doing the type of business that you're suited to do, right? Think about the money. If you'll stop and just think about the money that is wasted chasing after everybody, and it doesn't matter what you do, right? Everybody. There's even niche landscapers, for heaven's sakes, right? You might think, well, I'm going to become a landscaper and I want to cut anybody's grass. And the truth of the matter is, yeah, you would, right? But when you're advertising, is that what you want to do? You want to be a commercial guy? You want to have commercial contracts where you already know, you're already paid, it's just billing them every month, making sure the job's done. You want to do a residential where you got people that come and go. They don't want to pay you in the fall. There's goods and bads to every one of those. Golf course, you can resorts, find a niche that you want to focus on. And it's very important that you do that, especially when you start spending your money on advertising, right? An exorbitant amount of money is wasted on marketing to everyone, because you just can't serve everyone. Plus, you don't know the perfection of the niche. A person who does something and says, this is exactly who I'm going after, this is exactly who I'm speaking to, you become an absolute fluent professional about that particular person. You know everything about them, how they think, how they process, why they do the things that they do. And that makes you even more and more authority in your position. When you focus on what sets you apart and how you can help specific customers, then you have so much more control over the outcome, especially in your marketing dollars and where you're spending them.
Mm-hmm. You know what we say, if you try to help everyone, you'll just help yourself right out of business.
You will. And I've tried it a couple of times and I've gone out of business a couple of times. But I'm still in business. But I've done that. I've made that very same mistake. I really have. It's very important for us to focus on what we can take care of and know that area. You're better off to be a very large fish in a small pond than trying to grow from a small fish in a very large pond into a big fish. You're better off to do it that way because then as you perfect each one of those niches, you just add another niche. You don't limit your business. You become more effective. And that's what you have to do.
Very well put. Now we come into number 5, which is my personal favorite. The freedom to spend more time on you, your family, and the things that you love. If you're in that 9-to-5 grind, okay, it's hard to do these things. Mm-hmm. It's really hard. But if you are able to frame the type of business and life that you want, simply because you know who you are, you know those things that set you apart. In other words, you know the answers to these 5 magical questions that every great brand must answer. I'm going to test Michael. What are they, Michael?
What sets you apart? Who do you serve? How do you serve them? What qualifies you to serve them? And my favorite, how does it make their life better?
Right. A great brand has to answer every one of those questions. But you know what we say, if you followed us more than a day, it's not enough to know it. You have to show it. Right? You got to show it. So you've got to understand, guys, your brand is really a soldier working for you 24/7. It's a salesperson, right?
Never stop.
And once you get that brand created, that salesperson is out there all the time. Do it once, set it and forget it. As they used to say in the radio world, what did they say? Push it in and rip the knob off, right? Push it. Like, is that the way it said? Push it in and rip the knob off. Some of you old radio people out there may be able to correct me on that one, but it's lock it in and rip the knob off. That's what it was, right? So that's what your brand does. You lock it in, you get what sets you apart out there, dial it in to really hone in on that ideal avatar, and then you just rip the knob off, right? And you let it go because that brand precedes you. You're going to spend less time chasing those shiny marketing objects and the squirrels outside your window and spending more time doing the things you love. And what's more important than spending time with our family? Spending time with the people we love.
Nothing.
Right?
That's the most important thing. That's what you're going to remember
is.
at the end. Like that, that's what's going to, nobody at the end thought, you know what? I wish I'd have worked just one more day.
Yeah.
One more of those 9 to 5 grinds. I just wish I'd have done it. Nobody says that.
Yeah.
No, I wish I had more time with my family, my friends. It's and that's the reason we do the things we do. I mean, I can't wait for the day that you out there build out define, develop, and display your brand, get the business going that you desire and that you want. And then one of these days you're sitting there and it's like 10 o'clock on a Thursday and a gorgeous 80 degrees outside, with a light wind. And you look down on your calendar and you're like, you know what? I'm caught up. And I think I'm taking the rest of the day off.
That's right.
It's a magical feeling. And what makes it magical is knowing that you're not missing anything, knowing that just because you don't have a phone call right now doesn't mean that you're not out of business. It means that your brand is out there working for you so you can go and do these things. Right. And it's very important. Listen, if you don't have a brand, or if you have a brand, you're not worried, you're not sure if it's dialed in good, if you need some help, some pointers, if you need the first step, if you need somebody this is the first thing that you do, you need to go to discussyourbrand.com. Come talk to us. Discussyourbrand.com. And we're going to be able to book a session, free 30-minute session with us or one of our team members. And we'll help you get going down the right road. That's discussyourbrand.com. Don't delay in doing it. It doesn't cost you a thing.
Nope, it does not, guys. So if you like what you've heard today, if this helped you or inspired you in some way, we encourage you to please like it, love it, share it, and ding, subscribe so you can be the first one to be alerted when more topics like this come up. So we appreciate your time today, guys. And don't forget that dream position you want, that dream business you want, it absolutely is possible.
It definitely is. Listen, it's all about prosperity. And when we talk about prosperity here, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about the full 360 of an abundant life we truly wish for every one of you out there. And we know is obtainable, right? We know at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say be bold, folks, especially with your brand, especially in 2022. And thank you, Ms. Tanya.
Thank you. All right, guys, we'll see you here next time. Drop any questions you have down in the comments. We'll come back and answer them all. And we look forward to talking with you guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.